This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
Dude, I thought it was going to be a little different. And, it's just like I said, today, like the offense shit the bed and the defense dominated and coaches did pretty good. Okay, great. Or the defense played like last year and the offense lit it up and special teams made some plays on or maybe one dude made a play that screwed up the whole game and you lost. No, this was a collective choke job. Coaching, offense, defense, quarterback, it did not matter. Both lines did not win the battle. The quarterback choked, and the coaching staff absolutely sucked today. I mean, it was a glorified team effort on this choke job.
Yeah, I walked in here today, and it just felt like there was no energy in this building, especially coming off of how this place had been for Florida, how it had been even for USF and Notre Dame. And it just felt like they were going through the motions. And I think when the game started, it definitely looked like that. I mean, you fall behind 14-0 right away. It just looked like the focus and the energy that needed to be there was not where it needed to be. And that starts with the head coach, and that starts with the assistant coaches and everybody involved and the players. They all have to take responsibility in this. Now, having said that, Carson Beck, 4 interceptions. Like, you're not going to win very many football games, even though you had a chance to tonight with 3 interceptions. You can't do that. And it was clear to me from early on that Carson was not reading the field the way he needed to. He was making bad decisions, forcing the ball down the field, putting too much air under balls. Every single one of those picks was his fault. And yes, the pass got deflected at the line of scrimmage, but you got to look. You can't just, heave the ball up there and be careless with it. And I thought he was careless today. I think today he looked like the Carson Beck that all the Georgia fans warned us about. And it's going to cost them dearly. This is the kind of thing that could push you out of the draft, in my mind.
Do I call him Vinny Beck or Carson Testaverde?
I don't know, but, look, he'd been playing really well through his first 5 games. He obviously had a good performance against Florida State, but I don't know if, he was just the wrong mindset from the get-go. Just too many balls that you're throwing into windows that you shouldn't be throwing it to. And you look at the replays, he clearly saw there were 3 safeties back on that first pick, and he still threw it anyway to Malachi Toney. I get it. You're trying to make a play. You believe in the freshman. He's baby Jesus, all of that stuff. But it's irresponsible. And look, if Miami had any semblance of a running game tonight, this doesn't happen. They would have won the game on the ground. But this is what happens when you get your ass handed to by the other coaching staff.
Well, what happened? What happened to the big, bad offensive line that was pushing every single opponent they played so far this year? They could not push Louisville around. Louisville was not having any of it.
No, their coaching staff knew exactly what they knew every single running play Miami was running. I mean, I'm sitting up here in the middle of the game, sitting next to Gary Furman from CaneSport, and I'm calling out plays that Miami's running 5 seconds before they run it because I've seen it so much. And if I'm seeing it, and me and Gary are calling out plays before they happen, you don't think Jeff Brom and his staff know what the hell's coming?
He's so good, bro.
Listen, 4-2. Give Jeff Brom his flowers. He's 4-2 now against top 5 ranked teams in his career. That guy knows how to game plan. We talk about it all the time. I say it on my podcast. He's one of the best play callers in college football, and it's
top
a fact.
5, bro. He's top 5 when it comes to offensive minds. He is top 5, bro. Top 5. And
he is one of the best.
He schooled these guys today. He hit them with not only 2, he hit them with 3 quarterbacks.
Yeah. Yeah, and he even declared it before kickoff, right? Didn't he come out in the press and say, "Hey, I'm gonna have the other guy in there, and we're gonna run the ball with him, and put the receiver back there a couple times to run it." So he threw everything at Miami. He confused them, and what was really disappointing to me more than anything else is the third quarter. You get the ball to start the second half, and an immediate dumbass penalty didn't need to happen.
Did you see Mario's face? Right, you could tell he was perplexed. like I said, either pissed off or constipated. I'm not exactly sure. They may want to have a porta potty down there. But he was like, it looked like, didn't we just talk about this the entire half about playing stupid football? And they start with stupid football. That was the other thing. So much self-inflicted shit today, dude. Wow.
It really was. And look, we talked about this before. Oh, they're one of the most penalized teams in college football. We've said this repeatedly after every game. The false starts, the pre-snap penalties, and then like lately it's been the 15-yarders too. That just keep getting you. And so look, the good thing I will say is this: it's October 17th. You look at the rest of the schedule, and they're still more talented than everybody else on their schedule, in my opinion.
Yeah, but still, And by the way, Louisville now put some kind of blueprint out there on something to give them problems. I'm not saying everybody is as skilled that's left as Louisville, because that's the other thing. We do have to give Louisville credit. They do have some NFL guys that are playing on there.
No, they have one of the best secondaries in the ACC. I think they had the number 2 ranked pass efficiency defense in the league, and now they've got 12 interceptions on the year through 6 games. So they're averaging 2 picks a game as a secondary. They're well coached, and look, they came into this game 4-1. We told you guys in the pregame this was going to probably be Miami's toughest test the rest of the way in terms of home games, and it turned out to be true. I thought, look, I said it would be 14-14 at halftime. It was 14-10. Miami was losing. I thought, here we go. They're going to run the football. They're going to make the adjustments. The adjustments just never came. They never ran the football, and they basically put it on Carson Beck and Malachi Toney to be the saviors, and that didn't work out.
And by the way, that's something that really got exposed today, because last year you were able to count on Cam Ward to put on the cape, and he bailed you out several times. Here's a really tough moment, and Carson Beck could not pull you out of it.
Carson Beck needs to play in a balanced offense. He cannot carry an offense like Cam Ward. And that is evident. You go and you look at Cam's numbers last year from 10 yards down the field more. The reason he was the number 1 overall pick was because he was special. I mean, the guy could throw it 10 to 20 yards down the field. I think his passes of 20 yards down the field or more last season. Cam Ward was 15 touchdowns, 0 picks. 0. That's why he was the number 1 pick. And you look at the intermediate passes, his numbers were ridiculous. So Carson Beck made his living this season with the underneath stuff. When you can't run the football and you got a bunch of people in the box and you can't throw the ball down the field, as well as the guy that was here before you, you're going to run into trouble, and that's what happened tonight.
Yeah, and you look at it, you need a running game. He didn't have a running game, so it can help him a little bit with play action. And 2, the tight end was completely absent.
Because it's been all season. It's been all season.
No, but the last couple of games, the tight end had played a little bit more, but
it's not something the opponent has to respect. They have yet to make the tight end dangerous in this offense. We haven't really seen it.
That's what I'm saying. You had no tight end involved. At least you had it involved in the last couple of games, where it looked like actually the tight end position looked like it was ascending it started like nothing, and then the last couple games you started actually using him a little bit more. But today, where you can use in this kind of a situation a run game or a big receiver and a tight end, neither one could be found. And you're right, because of that limits Carson Beck's effectiveness, as we saw today. He kind of needs all his kind of weapons in order to balance it.
Listen, he's still one of the better and this should tell you something. He's still one of the better quarterbacks in college football in terms of when he has a running game assisting him. But when he doesn't, this is what happens. And look, give Louisville their flowers. They game plan for him. They knew exactly what plays Miami was going to run. They knew Miami's not very creative in the running game. I called for that end around to Malachi Toney like 5 times in the third quarter. When are they going to run the end around? And they decided to save it for that touchdown at the end. But to me, Miami came out here without the energy, without the juice. Louisville punched them in the mouth, and they never really recovered. And kudos to Louisville. They kicked Miami's ass tonight.
Yeah, I didn't see a Canes team that play with confidence, dude. That's for sure. That Louisville was able to suck the confidence out of them quickly too, because those first couple of drives obviously already had them baffled and had them down 14-0, and so they were kind of shook from that whole thing. And then if it wasn't for that turnover, that almost gave them.
It gets ugly.
But it's funny because that turnover also exposed you for who you are. Because if you were a good team, that turnover, that's when you make them pay. And in that last drive, you score a touchdown, you win the game, and you put them out. But what'd you do? You threw the turnover at the end, which again shows what you were the entire game. You ended the way you started. Put it that way.
Yep. I said 11-1 before the season because I just, you just
But
know.
will they now? Will they? Because now they lost, and now we go, okay, same old Canes. And one of the same old thing about the Canes is that when they lose this game, then shit starts to go awry for them.
Yeah, they fall apart. It never is just one loss. It's always 2 or 3. So we'll see. I'm very interested to see what happens with Carson Beck because they need him to be on top of his game. And tonight he looked like a fat kid sitting in front of the ice cream machine, man. He kept going to the ice cream machine when he didn't need to. Stop trying to go deep, brother. Like just eat the healthy stuff. He didn't want to eat the healthy stuff. He kept going for the ice cream over the top.
Crazy. All right, what do you got going on in the athletics so folks can check you out, my brother?
Well, they can read my column for tomorrow. I'll be writing about Beck, and they can definitely check out the immediate game story that was already posted online. So with a couple quick takeaways. So I will be putting out my podcast again next week and catching up with you as usual, brother.
All right, my man. Appreciate you as always. We will catch up down the line, my friend, and we'll talk next week.
All right, man. Take care.
You got it. Caneswear, folks. Go online at caneswear.com. Tell them that Big O sent you. I promise you that they will take care of you there at caneswear.com. Remember, use our code BIGO10. You will get 10% off. Even online, if you order over $99, you will get free shipping. They got anything and everything with the Canes logo, Dolphins, Heat, Marlins, Panthers, InterMiami. All your pro teams are there at caneswear.com. And tell them, of course, that Big O sent you because the boys are awesome over there. Brett, Jeff, Jack, all of them. Ken Graff, they kick ass.